Mike White is done. Gone. Finished. And the person who took him out was sitting right next to him sharing rice 2 hours before tribal council. Let me say that again because I need you to understand how cold this was. Christian Hubicki looked Mike White in the eyes, told him they were good, walked into tribal, and then put his name down. 3 votes. Not 4. Not 5. 3 votes is all it took to end a Survivor Legends game, and the way it happened, pause here for 1 second of silence, is something I have never seen before in 50 seasons of this show. And here's the part that is going to make your jaw drop. There is a reason this blindside happened in this episode specifically, and it has everything to do with what Zach Brown did earlier that day. Nobody is connecting these 2 moments, but I am, and by the end of this video you are going to see this entire episode completely differently. Don't even think about clicking away right now. On screen text suggestion, flash 3 votes in huge red text, then gone, then show Mike White's face. Now before I break this whole episode down, you need to understand 3 things that happened in episode 4 that are going to shape the rest of this game. First, Christian Hubicki just announced himself as the most dangerous strategic player left in this game, and everyone should be terrified of him. Second, the Zach Brown celebrity fan twist introduced something that directly impacted how this vote played out. And third, the 3-2-1 vote exposed exactly where every single person on V2 stands, and some of those loyalties are about to become major problems. If you leave now, you're going to miss the connection between these 3 things that nobody else is breaking down. On screen text suggestion, 3 things that change everything. If you've been following this channel, we've been breaking down Survivor 50 week by week, catching what everybody else misses, so hit subscribe right now, because after what just happened in episode 4, the game is wide open and you're going to want these breakdowns every single week. Okay, so let's set the scene, because going into episode 4, the Voodoo tribe was already in trouble. After the tribe swap in episode 3, they lost Q in a 5-1 vote. Stephanie was the only person who voted differently, putting her name on Angelina instead of Q. So coming into this episode, V2 had 6 players: Emily, Christian, Ozzy, Mike White, Angelina, and Stephanie. And the dynamics were messy. Stephanie had exposed herself as someone willing to go against the group. Ozzy had the boomerang idol from Genevieve but couldn't use it on anyone else. And Christian was sitting in the middle of this tribe reading everyone like a book. B-roll suggestion: recap clips of the 2 tribe dynamics from episode 3 with dramatic music. But before we get to the vote, we need to talk about what happened before tribal, because this episode had 2 incredible moments that set everything up. First was the Survivor 50 talent show. The castaways decided to have a talent show on the beach, and honestly, this was one of those moments that reminds you why Survivor is the greatest show on television. You got to see these players as people, not just game pieces. But here's the thing about talent shows on Survivor. While everyone is laughing and performing, the strategic players are watching. They're reading body language. They're noticing who is hanging out with who. They're clocking every single social connection. And I guarantee you Christian was using that talent show to gather information. On screen text suggestion, Survivor 50 talent show with music note emoji, and then Zach Brown showed up. The country music star appeared as a celebrity fan and introduced his twist, which involved some kind of reward sanctuary. Now the details of exactly how this played out I want to break down carefully, because I think the Zach Brown reward is the moment that actually sealed Mike White's fate. When you separate players from the group, even for a reward, it creates paranoia back at camp. The people left behind start talking. They start scheming. They start making plans without the people who are gone. And in a tribe as fractured as V2, that kind of separation is deadly. B-roll suggestion: Zach Brown arrival clips with dramatic reaction shots. But here's what I really need you to pay attention to, because this is the thing that makes this episode so special. The vote was 3-2-1. Let me explain why that matters. On a tribe of 6 people, a normal majority vote would be 4-2 or 5-1. A 3-2-1 vote means 3 different people received votes. That means this tribe was split 3 ways. Christian got 3 people to vote Mike. 2 people voted for someone else. And 1 person voted for a third name entirely. That level of chaos at Tribal Council is rare, and the fact that Christian navigated it perfectly tells you everything you need to know about how good he is at this game. On-screen text suggestion. 3-1 vote breakdown with vote tally graphic. Now I need to reset your attention here because the vote itself is only half the story. The real story is what this vote means for the rest of the game. Christian Hubicki just painted a massive target on his own back. Yes, he pulled off a brilliant move. Yes, it was surgical and precise. But now everyone in this game knows that Christian is capable of blindsiding his own allies with just 3 votes. That is terrifying information for the other players. Every single person left in this game is now thinking, could Christian do that to me? And that kind of fear either makes people want to work with you or makes people want to get rid of you immediately. B-roll suggestion. Christian confessional clips with dramatic music building. And let's talk about Mike White for a second because this exit is genuinely heartbreaking. Mike White played Survivor David vs. Goliath and was one of the most entertaining and strategic players that season. He came back for Survivor 50 to prove he could win this time. And to go out on a 3-2-1 blindside where you had no idea it was coming, that is the kind of exit that stays with you. Mike himself said he was definitely blindsided, and you could see it on his face at Tribal. That moment of realization when the 3rd vote came out with his name on it. The title Knife to the Heart was written for that exact moment. On-screen text suggestion. Mike White 20th place with broken heart emoji. Alright, here are my hot takes, and I know some of these are going to start fights in the comments, but I don't care because this is how I see it. Take number 1. Christian Hubicki is now the number 1 threat in this entire game. Not Ozzy, not Siri, Christian. He just showed the entire cast that he can execute a precision blindside with minimal numbers, and that makes him the most dangerous person on that island. Take number 2. I actually think this move might have been too early. Christian showed his cards. He proved he's willing to cut anyone. And in a game full of returning players who have been blindsided before, that kind of reputation gets you voted out fast. On-screen text suggestion. Hot take: Christian is number 1 threat now, and here's my spicy prediction that I want you to tell me about in the comments. I think Christian is going to be targeted within the next 2 episodes specifically because of this move. Someone in this game is going to use the Mike White blindside as the reason to rally votes against Christian. And the irony is that the move that proved Christian is the best player in the game might be the same move that ends his game. Tell me right now in the comments, do you think Christian made the right move, or did he just sign his own elimination papers? Because I genuinely think the Survivor community is going to be split on this one. On-screen text suggestion. Was this move too early? With thinking emoji. Now let me connect one more dot that I think most recap channels are going to miss. The Boomerang idol situation is getting crazy. We had Genevieve's idol that she gifted to Ozzy. We had Christian's idol that he gifted to Aubrey. And now in episode 4 another Boomerang idol was discovered. That means there are potentially 3 of these idols floating around this game. Aubrey has one on Kalo. Ozzy has one on Vatu. And someone new just found a 3rd one. When the merge hits and all these idols come together in one tribe, the chaos is going to be unreal. Every tribal council is going to be a guessing game of who has an idol, who's going to play it, and who's going to get blindsided because they thought they were safe. B-roll suggestion. Idol montage showing all 3 Boomerang idols. So let me wrap this up because here's where we stand after episode 4. Christian Hubicki just made the boldest move of the season with a 3-2-1 blindside of Mike White. The Vatu tribe is now down to 5 players and completely fractured. There are 3 Boomerang idols in this game, creating a level of unpredictability we have never seen. And next week's episode is called Open Wounds, which tells me the fallout from this blindside is going to be brutal and someone is about to pay the price for what just happened. On-screen text suggestion. Episode 5 Open Wounds next week. If this breakdown helped you see things you missed, smash that like button because it tells YouTube to show this video to more Survivor fans. Hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell because episode 5 Open Wounds is coming next Wednesday, and I promise you this channel is going to catch every single detail. I'll see you on the next one, and trust me, after what Christian just did, nobody in this game is safe anymore.